or sanitation. We were looking exactly at what the colleague was mentioning about the cost drivers. So we were seeing if there was any correlation between the distance from the main roads and the costs or markets. And we wanted to visualize the different service levels received for water and sanitation. So we wanted to put all the service level indicators with the costs and with poverty. And we tried this in spider diagrams, we tried it everywhere, it doesn't work. So maps is the best thing to start putting all these layers. And it's very, very powerful. So this is the Venkatapuram Village in Hyderabad. And it's a community which has, these are the richer households, the castes. They call it, they have all these names for the castes, but these are the better off. And at the north of the village, in green, you have the scheduled castes, which are the poorer areas. And the little star and these things, it's a distance from the center of the village and the main water facilities. And again, you see the north has the poorest households. We map all the infrastructures. You can see that in the center of the village, there's a lot of private wells, private bore wells, and the north of the village has much less infrastructures, and they are mainly hand pumps. And then they have the little triangle with hand pumps not working. So immediately then you have the contours, you have the main drains, etc. And then we start mapping out the costs. Well, and this is CapEx household, so one-off water supply investments. And you can see that in the north of the village is between $0 and $50 one-off household investments. And the further south you go, you see some investments, the blue households have 500 plus. These are all the private boreholes that the families are drilling. Then we can compare distance with how much investments the households are putting in. And you can see that the distance, the more in the center you are of the village and the power of decision making, the higher the one-time household CapEx investments related with the distance. Then we start mapping service levels. This one is the per capita summer water use. And you see there's the water use in the south of the village between 100, more 60s, 100 liters. And here is more the green, is 40, 60. And I don't know if I have here no, I don't, I didn't put it in. But if you then put the dry season, then you see a huge difference in the per capita water use in the north of the village and the south of the village. So we can correlate access and use, both water and sanitation. I just showed you the water maps. You can do exactly the same with the sanitation. You can do poverty, and a correlation with poverty, land ownership, religion. You can put in topography into the picture. You can also put the reliability, O&M, I haven't showed that map. And then the expenditure of the house. This is very good to see what kind of expenditure is happening, especially when households are putting a lot in. For sanitation, you can see how many latrines there are, if the latrines are being used, if they're not being used, this data. And in your data stick, there's a presentation that our colleague Snehalata did at this symposium about this all mapping poverty analysis is in your in the information in the data stick. So what are the main advantages? It can reveal trends and patterns that we could not see very well with our data. It makes it has the ability to simplify and increase access to very complex information. It acts as a potential, this is very important for us, it has the potential to act as a catalyst to force change and reform. And it can create new information and meaning and help stimulate and maintain debates and discourses. You just put up the maps. You don't need to go before you have a meeting with your stakeholders. You put up the maps. This is what you're finding, and immediately you don't have to do a lot of facilitation.